Close your eyes with me for a moment. Imagine yourself on the edge of a cliff. You're overseeing this beautiful valley, trees way below, and the only thing you're holding is a hang glider. You're about to jump. Now, some of you, as you open your eyes and come back to the current moment with me, we're feeling some different emotions and some physiological traits. You're probably feeling your hands sweaty as you're standing on that cliff. Maybe some sweat dripping down the side of your temple. Your heart's racing. Your neck is pulsing rapidly. And for some of you, as you imagine that moment, you are thrilled. You're ready to jump. Bring it on. I know Lisa, she would jump in that moment. There are others of us, like myself, that I would slowly be walking back just to observe the beauty. But there's no way that I'm about to jump off of that cliff. It would be a great experience. You would be hang gliding right over that valley. But no, thank you. My fear in my life was not just jumping off a cliff, although I don't like heights. My greatest fear in my life was the fear of failure. For a long time, I had wanted to be a professional speaker and coach. That was my dream. But I could not make the jump. What if I don't make it? What if people reject me? I'm too afraid of failure. There's no way I'm doing this. Until I signed up for Toastmasters. And my journey has pushed me over that cliff. It started with my icebreaker speech. Many of you have experienced this. It's your first speech. I'm putting it together, and I'm nervous. I get up front in the club, and I'm standing in front of everybody, and that same emotion between fear and excitement, my hands sweating, my pulse going 100 miles an hour, my heart racing, sweat. I needed probably more deodorant that morning. Everyone's looking at me. I got to the end of that speech, sat down, I thought, this is going to be a terrible evaluation. And to my surprise, the person was kind. They encouraged me to keep speaking. As I continued to progress, one of my dreams became, what if I was to enter a speech contest with Toastmasters? But I kept putting it off. Year after year, I kept putting it off. Why? Because I was afraid of failure. I didn't want to jump off that cliff. I didn't want to fail. I didn't want to see rejection of losing in that speech contest. But I finally did it with Greg's encouragement. I went to the area speech contest. And to my surprise, when I got up front, gave my speech, I took first place in the area speech contest. Then I got to the next round. There were 3 of us left, and I took third. I took last place. And I left there feeling defeated. I felt like I had failed. Then Greg called me, and he started to encourage me. He said, you did a great job. There were some people that thought you maybe should have won that round. And in spite of the feelings of failure I had, I realized something when Greg called me. I had won. In my own struggle with fear of failure, I had won. Why? Because I stepped off the cliff and jumped off into the speech contest, and I still had done it. I stepped out of my comfort zone. Whether I placed first or last, I had stepped out of my comfort zone. Why? Because Toastmasters encouraged me to do it. A month ago, I got to my final speech. It was an 18 to 22-minute speech, a long speech. I showed up to this Toastmasters club in town to give this longer speech. To my amazement, one of my fellow Toastmasters here at this club showed up, Julie. Julie volunteered to evaluate me. I get up, I give this speech, I'm nervous, I'm feeling those sweaty hands, the pulse racing, the same feelings I've had the entire time for any speech, the same feelings I'd have on the edge of that cliff between excitement and fear. I gave the speech. And to my amazement, Julie gets up and she says, I think you've arrived. I think you can do this. You can get up on a stage and speak and pursue your dreams. What? I finally have made it to the end of this presentation mastery, and somebody has encouraged me to continue to pursue my dreams because I stepped off that cliff. I realized something between those emotions we feel and the physiological traits we experience between speaking, pursuing dreams, doing things that excite us, and things that we are afraid of. And it's right here. And often it comes from the encouragement of other people. What have I learned on my journey as I'm in this final speech of presentation mastery? That Toastmasters, specifically this club, have so many people here that will encourage you to pursue dreams and overcome fears, no matter what those dreams are, no matter what those aspirations are. We have people to help you jump, because often the same physiological traits of excitement and fear, the only difference between that is right here what you're thinking. And that can come from those around you to help you jump. I am so thankful that I've jumped. And so